Slept good. I feel good.
We will now begin the test. Please take out your pencils.
I got this.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you had the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help us get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Oh! You are round MVP.
Yeah, man. Yo, Drew, I finally got round MVP. Round MVP.
No way. That was some ownage. It's a good thing you got me as your wingman.
Right. You mean when you threw that flash grenade at me?
Whatever, man. Huge round. Seriously, great stuff.
Finally earning round MVP takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes.
All right, class. I'm going to pass back your tests. And the high score goes to Brian.
Oh, yeah. High score, baby.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you had the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help you get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Over there's the water. Whoosh, whoosh. And look at all this stuff I'm standing on. It's called sand, and it's everywhere.
This woman may sound silly to you and me.
It's made up of little tiny pieces of rocks. Teeny little pieces of rocks.
But to her 2-year-old son exploring the world around him, she makes perfect sense.
How does it feel when you touch the sand? Is it warm? Uh-huh. It's hard to hold in your hand, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Learning starts long before school does, and children are naturally curious. They want to learn, so follow their lead. Take simple, everyday moments like sorting laundry or playing on the beach and turn them into learning moments.
Is this water?
No.
Very good. This is sand. Oh, no, it's not food. It's sand. We don't eat sand.
Turn everyday moments into learning moments. Find out how at bornlearning.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. Richmond, it's time to get your morning going. Spicy Mom.
We are going to wreak havoc.
The only thing I am thinking about is the game.
Holy catfish! Touchdown, Seahawks!
Rashid Shaheed. Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick. All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now, live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Tuesday morning, March 31st, the final day of March. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on Fitz the Bill and 1061 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. Also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up. And you can watch and you can be part of the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And, of course, you can call or text in on the Radke Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888, radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. Coming up in hour number 2, we've got Nick Lorenzen joining us at N. Lorenzen Sports. He'll be joining us to help preview the Final Four, recap what he saw in the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. Nick was up there in D.C. at Capital One Arena watching all of the games over the weekend. So really excited to catch up with him at around 9:30. And coming up in hour number 2 as well, we will be ranking the greatest shots of all time, the greatest moments of college basketball postseason history. I've got 5. I want to hear what your favorite shots are. So get them in before hour number 2 begins at 804-327-0888. And yesterday we were in the the boisterous time, right? We were in the time of celebration following the Braylon Mullins made shot, that miraculous three that powered UConn over Duke. And yesterday was the day for celebration. Today, Alan, after that celebration, after yesterday, after I've had some time to gather my thoughts, I think today's a good day for reflection, some somber reflection, as my bracket, which has been busted since the day the tournament started. I think today is a day of reflection, a day to honor my worst bracket of all time. Because now that Duke has lost, that was the only thing I was holding on hope for. My bracket started 0 for 4, and it never rebounded from there, right? I thought maybe the one thing I could hang my hat on would be Duke making it to the national championship, along with Arizona, of course, and that being my calling card. I got the national championship right. Sure, I went 25% and everything else, but I got the national championship right. But it just didn't happen, man. They just did not happen because of the 35-foot heave from some freshman in Indiana, or from Indiana, I should say, named Braylon Mullins. I had Braylon Mullins and UConn losing in the round of 32. I didn't even have UConn making it to the second weekend. I had UCLA beating UConn. I had a Sweet 16 matchup of UCLA and South Florida, with South Florida losing to Duke in the Elite Eight. That's tough.
You took a risk. It didn't work out for you. I mean, obviously, before the tournament starts, we can't foresee that Cinderellas would only have until 10 p.m. and not actually midnight.
The clock struck midnight on them a little early. It was like
daylight savings.
I was about to say they weren't expecting it, and it hit. Look, there was a moment of false hope. There was a moment of a couple false hope moments, right? VCU, we got the VCU win, right? That was awesome, watching them overcome a 19-point deficit. I won't talk about what happened in the next game 24 hours later when they lost to Illinois. Got St. Louis right. Not only did we get them right, they put up a hundo on Georgia. That felt good. Felt really good after Iowa State hung 108 up in the first round against Tennessee State, but then they lost their star player, Joshua Jefferson, and they were never looking the same. I believed in Duke, believed in Arizona. I believed in, look, I had some upsets in there. I had some Cinderella stories, but I didn't go so far to have a ton of them go really, really deep. The only one I had going deep was South Florida. I believed in order. I believed in logic, and I believed that the basketball gods would reward me for that. Instead, the basketball gods just laughed at my bracket, and it all ended with that Braylon Mullins shot, which now I have had time to reflect on, and I'm a little sad about.
Also, as an analytics guy, you put your stock in a team that has the pathology of blowing some of the most inexplicable games.
Duke?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. But the analytics love them.
Yeah, the analytics love them, but the analytics also says, hey, red flag here.
Analytics say that they are the third best team in the country right now.
And analytics and results say that they have a point that they get to in a season, and they can't overcome it because of something. Like, I don't know what it is. It could be coaching, it could be players, but they are snake bitten when it comes to the biggest games, and you bet on them or banked on them to win the national championship.
No.
The biggest game.
had Arizona winning the national championship.
Getting to the national championship.
Getting to the national championship.
Even that's a tall ask.
Winning a Final Four game. A friend of mine always talks about how getting to the Final Four should be the ultimate goal, because then you're playing 2 games to win the national championship against really good competition. And in theory, those both games should just be coin flips. Like a bounce of a basketball going one way or another is the difference between you winning and losing that game. So to grade out coaches on how good they are, he uses Final Four appearances, not national championships, which I think is a very valid way to grade out how a coach is doing. How many Final Fours did you make? Did you win a national championship here and there? But if you have a losing record in the Final Four, I think it's more so just bad luck than it is bad coaching. But for Duke, it's just bad everything. There's something going on. You know what it might be? And I'm not a big religious person, but they are named the Blue Devils.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Maybe they've made a deal with the devil.
You
said I don't think.
You know what it might be? This is just who they are, and
we are who they thought they were.
Like you hinted to yesterday, and like the guys were talking about yesterday on the Sports Huddle. You put your faith in the youth movement. You're gonna have to take the ups and downs with them. We don't know when young people are gonna freeze up, man. And the moment can be too big for him, even though it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but it can be. And that is the downside to investing in so much youth. So,
I mean, it happened with Kentucky.
It happened with Kentucky a lot.
It's why Calipari's in Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
Like he got run out of town because he kept investing in that youth movement, and it only ever turned out to be beneficial one time during his time in Kentucky. And now for Duke, it feels like Shire and even Coach K are doing something similar, where each and every year they've got the best freshman in the nation, or one of the best freshmen in the nation, whether it's been Zion with Coach K, Brandon Ingram, a long list of players. With Shire, it's been Cooper Flagg and it's been Cam Boozer. You've gotten two of the best freshmen the last 2 years, and you have come up short in those 2 years, in part because the rest of your team is also really young. And the guy who had the back-breaking turnover is Caden Boozer. Is Caden Boozer doing that if he's a fourth-year starter and he's been in that moment 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before? The answer is probably not. And I think that's part of it. Should Caden Boozer know better than that because he's the son of Carlos Boozer, is Boozer a Hall of Famer?
Boozer?
Is he officially
in the NBA?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, because basketball Hall of Fame is all inclusive.
It's all inclusive. I don't know.
I don't think he qualifies. But
not to go on a whole side tangent here.
He's a great Duke player.
Yeah, not to go on a full side tangent. The Basketball Hall of Fame is one of the weirdest Hall of Fames there is, because like there's a bunch of random people in it that you would never guess is in the Hall of Fame because of their college stuff.
Yeah, but I also love that they include it all together, because there are many people who were not great NBA players, but we would consider them great hoopers, right?
Carlos Boozer is a Hall of Famer. September 2025.
Naismith?
Naismith Memorial Basketball.
Again, it must have been because of the college stuff.
Because of winning also a gold medal on the Redeem team.
Okay, all right.
NBA All-Star and an NCAA champion.
It's
so
all inclusive.
He's checked it. He's got a gold medal. He's got an All-Star in the NBA, a couple All-Stars, and he's an NCAA champion.
I apologize,
right.
Mr. Boozer.
So,
that lowers the bar a lot, but it's cool.
That's what I was trying to get at. Caden Boozer is the son of an NBA Hall of Famer. I didn't want to just say All-Star. He's the son of Carlos Boozer, a basketball Hall of Famer. In theory, Caden should know better than that. But when you're young, when you're 18, you make those mistakes. And I put all of my stock into Duke. I put the rest of my stock into Arizona, which I feel good about because they're a mix of seniors and freshmen.
And to Caden's defense, Chris Webber was told at least 6 times you have no timeouts, and he went out 10 seconds later and called timeout. So it can happen to anybody when you're young.
One of my favorite things, and I don't mean to bring up old wounds here on this Tuesday edition of Fitz the Bill, right? But one of my favorite things I'm seeing right now on social media are UVA fans making fun of Caden Boozer. And I'm just like, you guys do not have a leg to stand on right now. You remember Kihei Clark against Furman?
Yeah.
I'm like, you cannot make fun of Caden Boozer. Your star guard that helped you win a national championship as a freshman made an erroneous mistake as a senior. That's tough. So I do love UVA fans being like, ha. And it's like, pump the brakes a little bit on that one. But look, you look at the bracket. I got the right side of the bracket nice. I got Michigan and I got Arizona in. Don't look at the left side of the bracket, and that's the reason why I think I'm 31st out of 36, and everyone is beating me with it. But
hold on. All right, for clarifications, because I had to look at this. Maybe I misunderstood you. He's in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame as a member of the Redeem Team.
Oh,
yeah. So he's not himself. Like as an individual for his accomplishments,
Gotcha.
It's the Redeem Team was put in the Hall of Fame.
Well, they worded that in a very weird way.
I had to double check because I was like, I know there's a lot of things that we don't know.
Still, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
he's in the Hall of Fame.
I was like, wait a minute, I don't recall that at all.
He had a nice little peak.
No, he had a solid career, but I don't think it was Hall of Fame work.
Oh, no, I didn't either. That's why I also was shocked when I saw that. And that's why I was questioning it. And then
they definitely need to change the wording on that.
That is a very oddly worded portion of his Wikipedia.
I would put that on my resume like that. I'm a member of the Hall of Fame.
I am a member. I was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
As a Redeem Team member.
The way they were, not to defend myself here on this black eye of a mistake.
It could have happened to anybody.
It reads like he was inducted, and then they list out his accomplishments after it. Like, these are why he got into the Hall of Fame. And honestly, reading it, I'm like, okay, well, it is a Hall of Fame of basketball, and you did win a gold medal. You were an all-star, and you won an NCAA championship.
But look, I think I speak for everybody when I say if your dad or your mom got to the league, WNBA or NBA, you know what to do in these situations. You have been trained for that. They have went over that with you. Your pedigree has put you in situations where you've had to overcome these kind of obstacles. We expect you to be able to not turn the ball over there.
Hey, but what is one team's loss is another team's gain. UConn now will face off against Illinois in the Final Four. Michigan squares off with Arizona, and we got two really, really good games. UConn, they've proven everyone wrong up to this point, and they've kind of like it's kind of like the New England Patriots. Remember the New England Patriots during Bill Belichick's time, and every single year they'd always come out and be like, it's us against the world. No one believes in us. And it's like, you're the reigning Super Bowl champs. Literally everyone believes in you. What are you talking about? And yet Bill Belichick was able to drum up this idea that no one believed in his Patriots squad, and it worked for them. They used it as fuel for their fire. Very similar to what Hurley is doing with UConn this season, although I think there's a little bit more truth to that because the analytics don't love UConn. UConn is the worst graded KenPom team remaining. They're 9th in KenPom. The others are 1st, 2nd, and 4th. And they've been up and they didn't win the Big East. As a matter of fact, they lost their regular season finale game against a bad Marquette team. They lost to St. John's in the Big East tournament. They lost their two final games of the season to St. John's. People were writing them off despite them going on that huge win streak from November 23rd to February 3rd. This is a team that I think people had written off, and they continue to write off because now they've got a very difficult task against a highly athletic, very large Illinois squad that is the most efficient offense in the nation. And for UConn's defense, it's a top 10 unit in the nation, but it's going to be tough for them. And they've struggled to shoot here in the NCAA tournament a bit, especially in this last game. I know they finished 4 of 5 from 3-point land against Duke, but you started 1 of 18. And against an Illinois squad, I don't think you can start 1 of 18 and still be in a position to win. Heck, they started 1 of 18 against Duke, technically weren't in a position to win, ended up trailing by 19.
Yeah, but this Illinois team.
But Illinois, they're old. Like
a little bit more sustained scoring and performance. Like whereas Duke,
they're the most efficient offense in the nation.
Duke has had a lot of highs and lows, a lot of extremes, right? They're either rolling or they're not doing anything. Illinois has been very steady.
Yeah,
just like Michigan and Arizona. Like you don't get them playing bad. Arizona actually had a bad half, but I think Michigan had a bad half against Howard. That's the worst we've seen them in this tournament. Outside of that, they've been obliterating people.
Yeah, everyone was like, is Howard going to upset Michigan? And then you blink and you're like, oh, nope, they're not. and like Illinois, you might look at Illinois and go, oh, well, they've got a couple of freshmen on their team and some juniors and guys like that. And then you actually go and look at the ages of some of these guys. Their freshman, David Merkovich, I'm probably mispronouncing that. Something I don't love about this Illinois team. It's a lot of names that I struggle pronouncing. But like Merkovich is a 20-year-old freshman. Ivzovich is a 22-year-old junior. His brother Zovnimir Iznovich is a 22-year-old junior as well. Like they are an experienced team, despite having maybe a couple freshmen in that lineup. Then you're like, oh, they're young. No, they're an old team. And they're going to make it pay if you start 1 of 18. And they've done that all season, and they've looked utterly dominant here in this run. A 105-70 win against Penn, 76-55 win against VCU, and arguably that was the closest game they've played because even against Houston, the game got slowed down to a snail's pace, and they just shut down Houston's offense, holding them to their lowest scoring output of the season, worst shooting performance of the season. And then against Iowa, they just won 71-59 and made it look real easy. Like Illinois is a tall task for UConn.
Tall task. What a play like on words. Yeah.
Hey, their average height is number 1 in the nation.
Yeah,
they are
probably like
tall,
6'7".
It's 80 inches, whatever that is. I'm 6'7". I see what you did there.
Oh my God.
Count it up. Ding, ding, ding. We've hit it. That's a perfect way to finish out this first segment. A nice 6'7" reference. We'll get a quick break in. We'll step aside.
It's literally 6'7".
Is it really? Oh, good math. Good stuff. 6'7". Perfect way to round it out. Look, we've been talking a lot about college basketball for good reason. It's the best month of the year to do it. The Final Four is coming up this weekend. The national championship is Monday, but we do have to take a quick break from college basketball. When we return, we'll head on over to the owners meeting in the NFL. There's a couple of big storylines coming out of it that we have to dive into, including a potential increase in the length of the regular season. That's all coming up next on Fitz the Bill.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-960-3377. That's 800-960-3377. 800-960-3377.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Bonaire Shell is family owned and operated and has been serving the Richmond community for over 20 years. At Bonaire Shell, you'll find old school service with modern day technology, and our certified technicians will get you back on the road in no time. Stop by for a quick fill up, shop for new tires, ask us about a check engine light, or let us help with any of your auto service needs. Find us at 8762 Huguenot Road near the historic Bonaire section of Southside and online at bonaireshell.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
This is TV's Dr. Travis Stork for Eggland's Best Eggs. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best Eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
106.1 ESPN traffic.
An accident has 2 right lanes blocked off heading east on Mechanicsville Turnpike between East Laburnum Avenue and Neal Street. Beware of some merging delays heading north on 195 between Laburnum Avenue and Bryan Park Interchange, and heavy traffic heading west on 64 between Mechanicsville Turnpike and 95.
Every headline sounds different when you explain what it actually means. That's the Sports Huddle with Matt and Bob, weekdays 4 to 6 on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back in Fitz the Bill on this Tuesday, March 31st morning. We've got Nick Lorenzen joining us in about, an hour or so at 9:30 to help recap all things Final Four and Sweet 16. Before we get there, we've got to take a little pause on the college basketball stuff. Head on over to the world of the NFL because the owner meetings are happening and the NFL has a great ability to dominate the headlines, a great ability to always be in the news cycle in some way. Heck, We're talking about the dang owners meeting in April. It's able to pull some headlines away from college basketball, NBA, MLB, all of that good stuff. Just last year, we were talking about the tush push as MLB opening day was going on. But we've got some pretty big storylines coming out of the owners meeting. And probably the biggest, Alan, NFL owners now are pushing for an 18-game season. Momentum is building in a big way to go from 17 to 18. It's being described as something that isn't an if, but it's rather a win. The win is the big part. That's where all the questions really lie, because in order to get it done between now and 2030, the NFL and the NFLPA would have to reopen the CBA because that does not expire until 2030. But I have a feeling this is going to be a major sticking point when the CBA reopens in 2030 and they have to renegotiate all of that. You're seeing a ton of owners in the league really start petitioning for this. Colts owner Carly Ursay-Gordon, she's the one that took over the Colts after Jim Irsay passed away last season. She said preseason's not the best product. Players would likely want an extended regular season because it means more money, and it means that the preseason would go from 3 games to 2. Robert Kraft, he's in favor of extending the season. He then also wants a second bye week added, which would add 2 weeks to the regular season, pushing the Super Bowl even further back into February. I thought it was late this year when it was on Valentine's Day, but it could be even potentially later if the NFL is able to add a week and add a bye week. Jimmy Haslam, he's not fully sold, but this is the same owner that traded for Deshaun Watson. So clearly his ability to understand what's happening isn't very good. Kellen Moore isn't a huge proponent of it either, for the reason of adding an extra game and an extra bye week. It would turn the season into about 24 weeks-ish of games, which is a long regular season in comparison to what it was back in 2019 in the last decade when it was a 16-game season and 1 bye week, everything like that. This would add a ton of extra time. NFLPA publicly opposed to it. However, they were publicly opposed to the 17-game season back when that was made official in 2021. And guess what happened? That CBA was still pushed through. It was still ratified. And look where we are today. No holdout either. So just, I would not be a fan of the NFL going to an 18-game season. But of course, it's likely going to happen because it means more money. And that's the end goal for seemingly everyone and everything. Big reason why PFF is now down the drain after yesterday's acquisition with Teamworks. The only thing people care about is how we can optimize profits and bring in more and more and more money. And that's why this is going to end up going to an 18-game season. But the NFL's really missing the mark on what makes the NFL the most popular sport in American culture. It is the fact that there's such a high demand. And in comparison to the NBA, in comparison to MLB, the supply is just not there. MLB has all 162 games. The NBA has over 80 games, and they're trying to get that to come down because they're saying it's too many. The NFL was in the sweet spot with 16 games, if you ask me. I think it added a desire each and every Sunday, Monday, and the occasional Thursday to watch a good football game. When they moved to 17, it's still fine. It's still good. You just added one more. We've gotten used to it now 5 years later. But now they're talking about adding another game, another bye week. So that extends the regular season by potentially 2 weeks, depending on what they do with the preseason. Teams are already upset. Players are already upset with the lack of practice they have in the preseason. And this would just cut it even shorter to then get them going in the regular season. Something a lot of players and analysts talk about is that you don't even really see good football until the 4th week of the season because it's essentially just like an extended preseason now with the way they treat the preseason.
I'm sure the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals big time agree with that. But like even now on the NFL schedule, right? You look around the holidays, there's going to be a point where we have a football game around Christmas and even around Thanksgiving where we'll be getting games like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is so antithetical. Antithetical? I think that's the word. Whatever it is. To what the NFL is and what the NFL has been. The NFL's always been Sunday, 1 game Monday, maybe a game on Thursday. Like back in the day, Thursday Night Football didn't even exist until after Thanksgiving.
They were not getting billions and billions of dollars every year.
That's true. But now I feel like the NFL's losing sight of what makes the NFL the NFL. I just worry they're going to overextend.
Or we never had sight of what the NFL is. It's, we talked about this before off the air, and I've said it in passing. Fans and us, we think we make the NFL. We do not.
That's true.
It's that you see that TV there, you see that advertisement. That's what makes the TV. And the more you can get those on TV, the more money you will make, which is why we're going to get 24/7, 365 NFL, and also why a lot of these guys' seasons and careers will be shortened.
You're right. Unfortunately, you are right. But who drives the cost of those ads? It is at the end of the day, the fan. If I stop,
and the fan never says no.
I have a feeling we're going to see some low ratings around these Christmas games.
I know we have fought the idea of paying so much for subscriptions and things to see NFL, and it hasn't changed at all. In fact, every time they come out with reports, it's more money.
I'm not saying the streaming side of it, but like on Christmas Day, we're going to see a game between, I don't know, if the Texans and the Falcons, right? On Christmas Day, both teams eliminated from playoff contention at that point. It's going to be the lowest rated game of the regular season because that game does not matter and people are going to choose their families over football. And at the end of the day, that's then going to hurt the long-term aspects of it because then you can't pay as much money because those ratings aren't as good when you're looking at a 5-year rolling period. I just think the NFL is kind of overextending itself. And with this push now for 18 games, it's going to push the Super Bowl later and later into February. I mean, it's just, for me, it's a slippery slope because you're right. At the end of the day, the media rights is what pays the most money. And that's what teams care about the most. Jersey sales, sure, that's cool. Ticket sales, awesome, I guess. Concessions, fine, that's whatever. But that's not paying for the salaries of these players. What's paying for the salaries of these players is the multi-billion-dollar media rights deal that the NFL is signing and then distributing to all 32 teams. And so they want to maximize that. They want to get as much money as humanly possible in their upcoming media rights deal. And how do you do that? You try and put a game on every day of the week so you can sell the most ad revenue, which drives bigger and better media rights deals. But there's a point of no return. There's a point in which the returns start being negative and you go over the slope and you start going downhill. I worry that the NFL is getting to that point with the addition of an 18th game, with the addition of an extra bye week, and with the subtraction of some preseason games, which I know sounds crazy because Carly Ursay-Gordon said it best. It's not their best product. In fact, it's a bad product, but it's necessary to make sure that week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4 are good products that are worth tuning in for. Because if those games in the regular season just become glorified preseason, then we're back to square one. So that's one big headline coming out of the owners' meeting. Another one is replacement refs. Replacement refs seem to be coming as the NFL really struggles to sign a new CBA with the NFL. What is it? The NFLRA, the NFL Referees Association instead of the NFLPA. Look, the NFLRA stands on business a lot more than what the NFLPA does because the referees are not budging whatsoever. And it's being reported now by Kevin Seifert and Kalen Kaler that NFL owners are alarmed by the state of negotiations with the NFL Referees Association and have now authorized staff members to begin hiring and onboarding replacement refs in the coming weeks. So the NFL is going out to the Division I, Division II, and Division III ranks, compiling a list of college-level officials to recruit and try to bring in to be NFL referees. This might have a cascading effect down on the rest of football. If the best D1 refs are being poached to the NFL, then D1 gets D2 refs, D2 refs get D3 refs, D3 refs get high school refs get question marks. Like this could have a major cascading effect if the NFL cannot come to terms with the NFL Referees Association. And currently, the difference between the two sides, only a couple $1 million.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm assuming they'll come up with some kind of solution. You also got to think the NFL is officiated way differently than other football that we consume. And we go to high school games on a regular basis. And we even joked about how high schools officiated way differently than college. Matter of fact, if you go to a Big 12 game, it's almost like you're not at a college football game. They do their own thing in the Big 12. So it would be borderline catastrophic if this didn't get resolved.
Yeah.
Because the people that you're going to put in as replacement reps, there's absolutely no way.
Well, remember what happened in 2012?
Yeah.
Fail Mary.
Yeah.
We're going to get more of that.
Yeah. They're not going to be ready. And the biggest issue with an official, and I'm sure some officials will probably agree, the speed of what you see in the NFL, totally different than all the other levels, obviously. You got to get used to that.
Yeah. It's tough. According to sources, the NFL has offered the Referee Association a 6-year deal that averages annual raises of 6.45%. The average NFL official earned $385,000 in 2025. The league has also pushed the NFL Referees Association to allow several fundamental changes to officials' job structure, which the NFLRA has largely resisted. Some measures include increasing the probationary period for new officials from 3 to 5 years, shortening the dead period during the offseason to allow for more training, including a requirement for lower performing officials to work spring football games to help improve their performances, and reducing the seniority-based approach to covering playoff games and largely replacing it with assignments based on performance. That all sounds good for the fan and for the NFL. However, I get why the NFL Referees Association will not budge on some of those points, especially if they're only getting the raises of 6.45% per year. I think the NFLRA is looking to get a raise of around 10% each year. So something to monitor. This one seems like we are barreling towards a lockout. Their collective bargaining agreement expires on May 31st. So we got 2 months left of hearing about these updates with the replacement refs. And then last but certainly not least, over on the actual gridiron, no update is an update on A.J. Brown. Typically, these owner meetings are when a lot of trades happen because guess what? They're all in the same place. They all can talk. They can all figure it out. It's why you see so many trades come out of the combine as well. Yeah, they're there to watch the guys run in the underwear Olympics, and they're there to hear them talk at these interviews. But more importantly, they're there to network, and they're there to talk with other guys and agents and everything like that. That is why at the combine, you see so many stories break, like the Trent Williams story break around the 49ers. Will he, won't he? It's because John Lynch was able to talk with Trent Williams' agent face-to-face in Indianapolis. Same thing happens with these owners' meetings. It's a place for everyone to congregate. If there is an A.J. Brown trade coming, we would hear about it coming out of the owners' meeting. And so the fact that there is no update on the Eagles star wide receiver is a pretty big update that he will not get traded this upcoming season. All right, let's get a quick break in. We'll step aside. We've got some news or snooze coming up. A new coach has been hired in the Atlantic 10. Is that newsworthy or snoozeworthy? We'll break it down next.
This golf pro tip is brought to you by the professionals at Queenfield Golf Club. If you haven't been active this winter, ease back into your golf game by hitting a bucket of balls on the driving range and make sure to stretch before playing. Most golf injuries occur in the spring when it's a warm day and golfers try to jump into a full swing. When you're ready to hit the links this season, head over to Queenfield Golf Club. Reserve your tee time by calling 804-769-8838 or online at queenfieldgolf.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, it saved time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
This is advertising material. Medical mistakes can devastate families. When doctors fail to provide the care you deserve, Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys stand ready to fight for justice. They recovered over $2 billion for their clients injured by negligence, surgical errors, and misdiagnoses. They take on powerful hospitals and their insurance companies, so you don't have to, but time is limited. Call now for a free consultation. No fees unless they win your case. Alexander Schnarr trial attorneys, 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510.
The Rich Eisen Show.
After trading for Jalen Waddle, the Broncos are the best team in the AFC.
How do you not think that? That's not an overreaction. They run it back for a team that damn near made the Super Bowl. Bo Nix comes back healthy. Now he's got somebody who, ask a Broncos fan, and you tell me who's been as fast as Jalen Waddle this size. Well, they also have somebody like Cortland Sutton. I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, why not?
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
1061 ESPN weather.
We're seeing clear skies with temperatures in the 60s this morning, with sunshine continuing into the afternoon with highs reaching 83 degrees. And taking a look at tonight, partly cloudy skies with windy conditions and lows dropping down to 61.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Huddle, the book club returns as we talk baseball with Rob Freeman. Plenty of college hoops discussion as well. 4 until 6 here on 1061 ESPN.
If you want more than just the score, you'll find it here.
The Sports Huddle with Bob and Matt, weekdays 4 to 6.
News. Extra, read all about it. Or snooze.
News or snooze this morning. Lakers. JJ Redick stumps for Luka Doncic to be NBA MVP.
Snooze-worthy.
Of course it's snooze-worthy.
I hope he stumps for his star player to be the MVP. I will say, though, stumping has worked. Have you seen the line movement on Victor Wembanyama MVP?
I don't think it was the stumping. I think it was Victor's play.
Well, it was Victor's play, but I think he brought attention to it. He went from 22-1 to plus 220 in 7 days.
I mean, he's doing the same thing SGA is doing with like 20 less free throws. Just want to put that out there.
We got, and another thing to finish out the show, it's about SGA because that man finally got what was coming to him.
I resisted the free throw merchant thing, but the more I watch,
the more you watch, the more you understand this dude is a dang free throw merchant.
I can see why people would be frustrated.
Yeah, jeez Louise.
Sources: St. Bonaventure to hire Mike McDonald as coach.
Yeah, thank goodness they went out. They got a Super Bowl coach, Super Bowl winning coach. This is a great move for them. No, it is newsworthy.
No, it's actually hilarious because, like, the first time I read, even in real time, I had to stop. Mike McDonald?
Yeah, so they went out. They got a St. Bonaventure alum. He's the head coach at Division II Damon University in the ECC. He's a darn good coach. He also coached at Division III Medaille, Medaille. If you're listening and you know how to pronounce that, please text in 804-327-0888. But over his 8 years at the Division III ranks, he won 67% of his games. At Damon, he's been there for 12 years. He has won 75.5% of his games, including a 33-2 mark this year and a 28-1 mark last year as the head coach of Damon. Look, you're following the same blueprint that the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Drake Bulldogs did with Ben McCollum, right? You go out, you get a Division II coach, a proven winner. What translates the best from 1, 2 to 3 from every single division? What translates the best? Winning. JMU did that with Bob Chesney, right? He won at the Division III level. He won at the Division II level. He won at the FCS level. And what did he do when he got to JMU? He won. That's why UCLA brought him over to Westwood. They think he's going to keep winning because what does his resume say? He won. And so I really like this hire for St. Bonaventure. I think it takes a special coach to go to Olean, New York, and to take over the Bonnies with one of the worst color schemes in the entire country. Let's face it, the brown and white, it's ugly. It's hard to recruit there. Olean's not the best destination. You talk to Bob Black about it all the time. I think that might be one of his least favorite A10 spots. But look, You go out, you get him. You also look at Josh Schertz at Indiana, or I guess when he got hired to Indiana State, now at St. Louis, but another really successful Division II coach. I love this hire. He also has Division I experience. He coached at Canisius for 9 seasons. Now, they weren't the most successful 9 seasons. It was from 1997 to 2006. He went 108 and 153. That's a 41.4% win percentage if you're keeping track at home. But I think overall, this is a good hire for St. Bonaventure that should push them right back to the top of the Atlantic 10 and can put all of these Woj stories to bed.
Yeah, we're just looking for competence when we're talking about some of these coaches, man. The baseline is, can I watch you coach and see that you know what you're doing? And if the answer is yes, I think no matter what division you're at, I think you got a good chance of continuing success even when you step up a level or two. So I hope he does well, just not against VCU and Richmond. How about that?
That's great. McDonald also, I want to add here, he was the head coach at Olean High School in New York while he was an undergrad at St. Bonaventure.
Oh, that's interesting.
And over the last couple of seasons, he has gone 18-3 against Division II NCAA tournament teams. They fell in the Elite 8 this year of the D2 tournament, and he only has 5 scholarships to work with.
That's actually impressive.
He's a darn good coach. I'm excited for. A friend of mine is the SID at Damon, so I've been like periphery. Man, I'm picking some words today that I'm struggling to pronounce. I've been kind of following along. So when I saw this come through, I was very excited.
Is this like a comedy bit for this third headline?
Hey, pretty much.
I think some of the things have been mischaracterized on how I left Will Wade at his introductory LSU press conference.
Newsworthy. Let's listen to what old Will Wade had to say, don't we, Alan?
I think some of the things have been mischaracterized on how I left, but I'm not going to get into I don't want to get it. I learned long ago. I'm not going to get into a back and forth on all of that. The people who need to know. And look, everybody has to, when there's a situation like this, everybody has to cover has to cover. Let's put it that way. And so I'm not, I'm at peace with how I left. I'm at peace with what we did. And, look, I mean, they're pretty mad for a coach they didn't think was very good. So, I don't,
we haven't heard from Espo in a while. I want to hear from Espo to get an insight into the LSU mind, because why have they hired the 3 worst people we know?
Because they don't care, bro. They just want to win.
Like
they just want to win.
Mulkey is maybe their best coach that they have, right? Kiffin, what has he won?
Yeah,
he's won no national titles. He's not won a college football playoff game.
But he fits the LSU mentality.
What has Will Wade won? Other than the Southland Conference, what has he won?
He fits the LSU mentality.
It's a bunch of these boisterous
rules are optional.
It is. It's so weird. And also you hear him stuttering over himself because he's lying.
Yeah, I mean, even he knows it sounds ridiculous. Like that's pretty narcissistic there, buddy. Like you're not
Will Wade, narcissist?
Yeah, you're not the victim here. I think North Carolina State is the one that we're all like got left high and dry.
Yeah, like especially for a guy, you talked with the athletic director, 24, 48 hours before you even took this job, which you knew you were taking this job. Yeah. These types of gigs don't just come open. There's reporting now that behind the scenes, a state senator has been pushing to bring Lane Kiffin back to LSU for the last year. So this is, did I say Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, you mean
I meant Will Wade.
Yeah. It's probably the guy that's on the board.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
They've got a politician who's either on the governor's board or really big in LSU. So that's why a lot of some of their workings when it comes to NIL and stuff get some preferential treatment in that state.
Exactly. But it's just like, okay, so this has been working behind the scenes for a year, which means Will Wade took the photos replicating the Sports Illustrated Jim Valvano shoot, knowing that this was potentially in the works. Just an overall, I'll say it, scummy move from Will Wade. And the fact that he just goes to his press conference and he's just like, I think some of the things that have been mischaracterized on how I left. Have they? Or have they just been not nice to you and you're mad about that? Come on, man. All right, we're going to go out to the phone lines. We've got Dolphin Dave on line 1. Good morning, Dolphin Dave. How are we doing?
Good morning. I could be wrong, but wasn't the governor of Louisiana involved in the Lane Kiffin hiring or Skyping or whatever taken away from his last gig. And isn't he on the LSU Board of Trustees and threw the weight of the governor behind getting Lane Kiffin into LSU?
It was so because it's a state institution, I believe what happened was they fired the school president. And so then because they're a state institution and in the laws of Louisiana, the governor or a state senator, I think you're right, the governor then took over as the sitting interim president until they hired a new one. I think that's what happened.
So this guy, I'm not saying he had anything to do with Will Wade, but think about this. This is a guy who's running your state and got two of the worst people in the world to come and coach at your team. Oh, wow. That's exciting. I want him to be my leader at my state.
Yeah. So it was Jeff Landry. You're right. It was the governor, Dolphin Dave. He fired the athletic director and the president and the head football coach, and then put himself in charge of doing it all as kind of this de facto school president.
And he's the one that reportedly worked to bring back Will Wade. Yes.
Wow.
Good stuff.
I guess I don't know. I can't say it, but I think that if you look at the state
We're
as
all
a
thinking
whole, there's a lot of holes in that state. Okay. And it just kind of blows my mind up. I mean, Abigail Spanberger, all due respect to Canada, has a lot better things to do than worry about who UVA uses as a football or basketball coach. I'm just saying. Okay.
You're not wrong there. You're not wrong. Just a quick Google search here, Dolphin Dave. Louisiana, the state of Louisiana ranks 50th. And if you're keeping track at home, there are only 50 states. So they rank dead last in economy. They rank 46th out of 50 states in education. They rank 48th out of 50 states in infrastructure. They rank 50th out of 50th in crime and corrections. You're right. I think Jeff Landry has some bigger fish to fry rather than trying to hire away Lane Kiffin and Will Wade. But hey, to each their own, I guess.
Well, it's actually pretty sad when you have a state that's that bad. Especially you think about this. Think about this. LSU is supposed to be a higher learning place that you and I both know. I hate to break the news to you that none of those kids are graduating from college. All right. They're there to go play football, basketball, or baseball. And that's it. And then, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, I have not molded a guy. I might have molded a few people to be going to the NFL or the NBA or whatever, but I certainly haven't molded citizens that are ready to go out to the country and, have a job. So, and then on top of that, you have the wonderful, school system in Louisiana. I don't know what to say, guys. I really don't.
It's just funny. It's kind of comedy watching Louisiana have their governor get involved with all of this. But appreciate you calling in, Dolphin Dave. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Yeah, it's kind of just funny to see Landry get involved and be behind the scenes for the last year to try to bring back Will Wade. Just a humorous breakdown of things over there in Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they don't disappoint. I know for people who follow college athletics, we expect 3 universities to go beyond the measure of normal rule breaking.
Yeah,
LSU's definitely one. Miami is one of them. I hate to say that to my boy Caesar, but the U has a reputation.
Miami got away from it for a little bit, but I think they're back into it, which is good for the sport of college football.
And just collectively, the SEC in general, like they'll bend the rules.
The SEC in general. Yeah, they've got to start bending the rules a little bit more with the way the Big Ten is utterly destroying them.
Well, they're the ones, the SEC is the ones who have built up this mystique that they are great in everything that they do. So yeah, they've got to, keep up with their own creative expectations, and they haven't.
Look, the SEC says they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. How many teams they got in the Final Four? Big old goose egg. How many teams in Big Ten got in the Final Four? 50% of the Final Four. Keep talking that talk, SEC. See what happens.
Also, to Will Wade's credit, it was very hard to leave North Carolina State, I'm sure. And these things don't just happen overnight and blah, 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 blah. And then as he was about to leave, I believe he was very, very close to saying, "Go Wolfpack."
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
part.
No, it's people obviously caught it. He had to stop himself.
I do love it when new coaches go to their introductory press conferences and they've got to break the old habit. Like immediately. Where it must.
He wasn't there long enough for that to be a habit.
That's true. That's true.
That just shows you how sleazy he is.
What a guy. What a guy.
My favorite.
Right, let's get a quick break in. We'll step aside. Then we'll be back to wrap up this first hour of Fitz the Bill.
Tune in to the Enjoy the Madness basketball show Wednesdays at 6 p.m. here on 106.1 ESPN, presented by RVA's premier low-speed vehicle Bentelli dealer, Richmond LSV.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Looking to grow your local business? Let's team up. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fitz the Bill on ESPN Richmond. Together, we can craft on-air campaigns that drive customers right through your doors. Ready to collaborate? Email me, jack.fitzpatrick@summitmediacorp.com. Back in Fitz the Bill here on this Tuesday, March 31st morning. Get ready for April Fool's Day. That's just a couple of hours away. Tomorrow.
That wasn't when the Browns suggested to extend trades to like 5 years or something like that in advance.
They said that, and then Jimmy Haslam's out here saying, I think it was Jimmy Haslam, maybe it was Andrew Berry, their GM. One of them said, Deshaun Watson has a great chance to be QB1 and has a great chance to be a great quarterback yet again. Yeah, good job. Good job, Cleveland. Yeah, sure he does. After an Achilles, and then he retore the Achilles that he tore, and an ACL in there, and also taking a year off of football because of alleged crazy stuff off the field. Some of it has, I won't even dive into that. Crazy stuff. Crazy that they even traded for him. As we wrap up this first hour, got a couple of news and notes here close to home. Biggest news and notes to hit. Nick Lewis announced yesterday, the star freshman for VCU, announced he is returning to the Siegel Center for his sophomore year. Huge retention for VCU heading into next season. And you look at that backcourt, it's young, it's potent. If they're able to retain Brandon Jennings, which I have a good feeling they likely will be able to, considering he recommitted to the Phil Martelli experience last year. Remember, he entered the portal, almost went to UVA. He was spotted on campus in Charlottesville, then ultimately decided to come back to VCU. If he comes back, he's a rising junior, high expectations for him. Terrence Hill, the sixth man of the year in the Atlantic 10, he's a sophomore. If they're able to retain Terrence Hill, that backcourt with Hill, Jennings, and Lewis, going to be phenomenal. Jordan Tillery, a freshman, a highly regarded freshman, didn't get a ton of minutes this year, but if he takes a step forward, he'll be a key depth piece in that backcourt. And, oh, by the way, Ahmad Noel, he's a sophomore, began his career at UConn. He only played about 20% of the team's minutes this year. He was expected to be a big part of the rotation, but I think Nick Lewis was so good, they forced Nick Lewis to get more minutes, kind of pushing Ahmad Noel down the depth chart a little bit. But you think Noel and Tillery, if both of them come back and have a nice step forward in their development, paired alongside Nick Lewis, Brandon Jennings, and Terrence Hill, VCU, they've got a real chance next year to go on a bit of an NCAA tournament run if they stay healthy, if everything goes the way we think so. Could win a couple of games in the tournament with that experienced backcourt.
Yeah, it's great to see that they didn't have the talent poached, and the coach stayed too. So year two of three. I can't wait.
Year 2 of 2, maybe. But hey,
3, man.
Take advantage of what you got, man.
It's gonna be year 2 of 2 if he hears your nickname. But
PMJ is not a bad nickname.
PMJ is not approved.
PMJ is not bad. It's just PMJ. It's easy. What would you go with, Mark? Look, Phil Martelli Jr. Nothing. There's nothing. PMJ.
His mama named him Phil. I'm gonna call him.
His mama named him Philip.
Oh, I'm gonna call him.
I think it was Philip. right?
I don't know. I don't have his birth certificate.
PMJ,
Can we
baby.
FOIA his birth certificate?
No, we're still waiting on. Could you imagine? We might be able to actually. You can you can filibuster. You can FOIA a lot of stuff.
I know.
You would be shocked.
You shouldn't be. I mean, obviously, you wouldn't be able to.
I don't know. Don't tempt me with a good time. Still waiting on that extension he signed a week ago with my FOIA request over there. Trying to see what they upped his buyout to. Hopefully they upped it up a good bit to keep him maybe for that 3 years that Allen wants. But Nick Lewis,
he's got to stay 3.
Everybody
stays 3.
Sticking around in Richmond for at least one more year. That's big news coming out of VCU, coming out of the Siegel Center as they look to bring back that potent backcourt that helped power them to an NCAA tournament win this season. All right, coming up in hour number 2, Nick Lorenzen. He'll be joining us at 9:30 to break down the tournament, taking a look at the Final Four and recapping what he saw at the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16 up in D.C. as he was covering the games for Bracketeer.org. Excited to catch up with him at about 9:30 in hour number 2. And you don't want to miss it. We're kicking off hour number 1, ranking the best shots in college basketball postseason history. I say that because there might be a shock right off the bat in our rankings. That's coming up next in hour number 2.
With rising gas prices in the RVA, save money every time you fill up with the Fuel Rewards program at Bon Air Shell. Sign up today at bonairshell.com or stop by 8762 Huguenot Road.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Behind on your City of Richmond gas or water bill? Now's the time to get back on track with DPU to avoid disconnections. For a limited time, eligible customers can reset their account and enroll in a manageable payment plan through Promise Pay. Even if you already have a payment plan, you may still qualify for better terms. Prefer help in person? Back on Track community events are happening across the city. Find event details or explore your repayment options at rva.gov/public-utilities/backontrack.
Tune in to the Enjoy the Madness basketball show Wednesdays at 6 p.m. here on 106.1 ESPN, presented by RVA's premier low-speed vehicle Bentelli dealer, Richmond LSV.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
Amber and Ian.
I haven't heard any conversation about this aspect of the consequences of NIL, where these big programs are having to spend money other places because of NIL that they then don't want to go spend a ton of money playing mid-major.
Makes sense.
Now everyone's operating with a bottom line. And why are we eating into that when you could come and beat us?
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.
The second hour of Fitz the Bill is brought to you by Birdie Golf. Tired of paying premium prices for big-name golf balls that overpromise and underdeliver? Step up your game with Birdie Golf. Learn more about a local company at birdiegolf.com. Change out the I's for ones, and you're there. That's B1RD1E golf.com. Birdie Golf.
You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN.
And a mismatch. Walker on the gate with 4. Kemba Walker. Step back. Walker, Cardiac Timber, does it again. UConn wins at the buzzer. 3 in the first half. They're going to have to do something from the outside now. It's Page off balance. Puts it out. How did he do that? With Archie Diacono. 3 seconds at midcourt. Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship. The national champions. With Jenkins hitting the winner at the buzzer. Boy, is he good at that. Got to drive to the basket. It's down to 7 seconds. You can see the time. Westberg. Oh, it's a long ways. They won it. On the dunk. And stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds. Mullins tosses it up. Oh! It's good. With point 3. UConn goes in front.
Some of the best shots in March Madness history, heck, in college basketball postseason history. They are the ones that live on forever. That was a sampling of some of the ones we'll talk about here to kick off hour number 2. Welcome back into Fitz the Bill on this Tuesday morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside, as we've got a fantastic second hour set. Nick Lorenzen, he'll be joining us at about 9:30 this morning. He covered the DC games in the NCAA tournament for Bracketeer.org. He'll also help us preview the Final Four. You can watch the show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Just type in ESPN Richmond. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch the stream. You can be part of it by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And, of course, you can be part of the show by calling or texting in to the Radkey Insurance phone line, 804-327-0888. Head to radkeyinsurance.com to get started on your free quote today. We're going to head on out to the phone lines before we rank the best shots in college basketball postseason history, as we've got Bruce on line 1. Good morning, Bruce. How are we doing?
Good morning, Fitz. Good morning, Alan. Hey, guys. I sort of chuckle a little because I'm going to get more serious later. But do y'all recall, if you were watching the Duke-UConn game on Sunday, there was a timeout that UConn made. Duke was out of timeouts, and UConn makes a timeout. And I believe if Iron Eagle was calling the game or Wrath, one of them stated during the timeout, number 1 seeds are 134-0 when leading by 15 points or more. So Duke was still up a point. No, 2 points. And they make that statement. And I told my wife, that may be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We saw that, and then Duke made history in a couple of different ways, right? They're the first team to lose after leading by 15 points or more. And back in the first round against Siena, Duke was the first 1 seed to ever trail a 16 seed by 10 points or more at the halftime break. So a couple of bad badges of honor for Duke to wear after this NCAA tournament run. That was just an epic meltdown, an epic meltdown. That's the best way to put it.
Wow. It's how the ball bounces. Fitz, I did have a question for you growing up in Spotsylvania, and so I want to first send condolences. I don't know if you knew the 3 baseball players who were killed this past weekend.
I did not know them personally, no.
Okay. Because I knew you grew up in that area. All right, so I'm going to jump into something, guys, and I didn't hear y'all discuss it in the first hour, so I apologize if I missed it. So I'm going to talk about Jaden Ivey. I know he played college ball at Purdue. We are all familiar with his comments, and we are also aware that the Bulls have decided to place him on waivers, cut him from the team. This is, I don't know if this is a Kaepernick issue. I don't know how to describe it. And so that's part of the reason I'm calling, because I don't know how you describe this issue. These are an individual's personal views based on his religious beliefs.
Yeah, and they don't align with the NBA or the team. So they have every right to cut him, right? Like, he said stuff that do not align with what the Chicago Bulls believe in. And just like Jaden Ivey has a right to say what he wants to say, the Chicago Bulls and the NBA have every right to either push him away from the league, or they have the right to waive him in this case. The NBA hasn't done anything in regards of punishing him, but the Chicago Bulls have every right to waive Ivey for his anti-LGBTQ comments. I agree with the Bulls to do it. Now, do I think something deeper is happening with Jaden Ivey? 1,000%. This dude has seemingly gone off the deep end over the last 72 hours based off what he's been posting on social media. Hour-and-a-half long rants about religion, about crazy stuff. Like, he's clearly not right in the head right now, and he needs the help he needs. Like, there should be places for him to go. But at the same time, he does not need to be on an NBA roster, and the Bulls have every right to cut him.
Okay.
I just like he has a right to say it. That's true. But the NBA and the Chicago Bulls have a right to respond to it in the matter they seem fit. Now, do I hope the Bulls try to get him the help he needs? 100%. But I mean, he was saying some outlandish things and some crazy stuff that, look, I don't agree with. Do I agree with free speech? All of that, 100%. But you've signed a contract. You lose your free speech rights when you sign, not your free speech rights, but you know what I'm saying? It's a private company. Yeah. You've signed your contract. Yeah. You have to abide by that. If I came on here and I dropped the F-bomb and I did a bunch of stuff crazy, I'm getting fired. But it's free speech. No, it's not. I agreed to this. I work under the FCC guidelines. That's just the way it goes. So, Jaden Ivey, you're getting punished for something you said. Does that stink? 100%. Should you have known better? 100%. Is there also stuff percolating underneath the surface that he needs to get fixed and he needs to figure out? 100%.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a fair assessment, and it's a fair assessment. Okay. So 76ers will be at Capital One Arena tomorrow night. I know we lost to the Heat last night, but there's a good chance. I hope to see them play live tomorrow in D.C., so we'll see how that goes.
I need to hear your full recap after it. I mean, Sixers got to bounce back after their loss last night.
Yes. Reds are 3-1. I'm early. I know it's 158 games or whatever left, but I just want to tell you, we're 3-1 right now.
Hey, 3-1's 3-1. You're the same record as the Blue Jays, the Yankees. It don't matter. 3-1. That's how you want to start.
Thanks, guys.
Of course. Appreciate you calling in, Bruce. There goes Bruce. Appreciate him calling in, letting us know his thoughts. And yeah, the Reds 3-1 this season. Nice little start. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish, though.
Yeah, Nationals are rolling, too. Let's see how long it lasts.
Hey, the Nationals 3-1, too. About to be 15-70 in a couple of months.
They got a good thing going, though. I like what I see. The youth movement on the Nats roster is
sure
looking like it's going to pay dividends.
Yeah, in 5 years.
No, I think they can speed it up.
I do, too.
I hate that they let Mackenzie Gore go. I wasn't in agreement with that, but I understand. It's a long game. Look forward to seeing them in person this later spring and summer.
Into the summer. Mariners 3-2, best run differential in the AL West.
Did you beat the Yankees last night? I didn't finish the game because MLB app cut off.
You gotta love the MLB app.
Ridiculous.
Doesn't it do great things for you?
It's terrible.
Last night did beat the Yankees 2-1.
Right. Yeah. So the nightcap last night was pretty good. Yankees, Mariners, and Dodgers, Guardians, and I know people probably like the Guardians. Dude, they're a gritty team.
They're a gritty team. Yeah. And Midlow Dan loves to hear that. Cleveland Guardians fan up there. You got TBS tonight, Yankees and Mariners again for the nightcap 9:40. So that won't cut out on you. You can watch the whole thing.
I can watch that.
All right, let's get a quick break, and then we'll be back to break down the best shots from college basketball postseason history. Stay with us right here on Fitz the Bill.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
I heard my dad, telling some kids one time, hey, man, you got to throw away your rearview mirror. You got to focus on the now. You got to see the future. You got to have a vision. Visualize yourself winning in life. And for Giannis, from a basketball standpoint, that vision, and I'm pretty sure you can see it clear too, is not in Milwaukee winning another championship.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The best thing that Max Crosby can do, rehab like a demon, which I know he will, come back healthy, be uber productive, and allow the Raiders to build his value back up where they can fetch a return similar to what the Baltimore Ravens were willing to give them. That is the best thing for Max Crosby. It ends up being the best thing for the Raiders.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. Amber and Ian.
According to Draymond Green, there ain't much talent. You can't field another NBA or two. The percentage of people that have played basketball in their life that end up NBA players, it's such an unbelievably small percentage that I have a very hard time believing that we can't find another 30 more.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on Sirius XM Channel 80. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Everything that you can say about Aaron Judge, you can also in a lot of ways apply it to Bryce Harper, and you can absolutely apply it to Mike Trout. You have these guys who you think are going to be the one that is going to be the superstar that wins and wins consistently. And all of these guys haven't done it. All of those guys go into the what if category, and I think that's been detrimental to the game.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Huddle, the book club returns as we talk baseball with Rob Freeman. Plenty of college hoops discussion as well. 4 until 6 here on 106.1 ESPN.
We don't wait to react. We lead the conversation.
And what it means next.
The Sports Huddle with Bob and Mac. Weekdays 4 to 6.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life.
It's a good song. We're so close to hearing this.
Yeah, well, I just only played it because when we talk about one shining moments, it's typically the buzzer beaters.
It is the buzzer beater. Like
premature.
You know what the number one shot is going to be on the one shining moment this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Probably the UConn shot.
Yeah, it's Braylon Mullins. It's 100% because that
unless something happens between now and then.
Which we could get it. We got potentially 3 fantastic games set between now and Monday when we crown a national champion.
One of my top shots was a national championship shot.
Okay, I like it. I ranked 1 through 5, so let's start at 5 and then go from there. You ready?
All right.
And the reason why I'm calling this not the best shots in March Madness history, but the best shots in college basketball postseason history. I don't know if we consider conference tournaments March Madness per se. They call them championship week, all of this stuff. So number 5, it's not in March Madness, but it is a great shot in the Big East tournament in 2011 when Kemba Walker absolutely crossed up the Pitt defender, put him on the floor, pulled up, and drained a shot to take down Pitt with 2 seconds left. That's number 5. That started the cardiac Kemba, that run for UConn where they ended up in the national championship.
Yeah, the Kemba step back is basically what I think we call it now. Iconic, and also confusing is, again, why was that big man on him?
Yeah,
who thought that was a good idea? Why are we switching in that situation?
I went down the memory hole to do that and to put together the audio for it, and I was watching all the highlights, and I was like, oh man, I forgot how electric this shot was.
Yeah.
It was, and then why is the big man on him? Why are you putting a guy who can't move against one of the shiftiest players in the history of college basketball?
And to be honest, now like if you look at that shot and now look at how people play, so many people go to that move now.
And
like on a consistent basis, when there's a big on a point guard and there's an isolation, the step back comes. Now they step back for the 3 from 35 feet out, but back then, it's definitely iconic.
100%. What was one of your best shots?
I was gonna go with that as my number 5. Believe it or not.
Okay, we're in agreement. All right, I like
on
it.
That one.
Number 4, I put, and this might rub some people the wrong way. I put Christian Laettner's shot against Kentucky. The shot, whatever you want to call it, full court pass, overtime. that 92 Elite 8 shot for Christian Laettner. That's my number 4.
The bane of poor Patino's existence.
Yep,
that was tough.
The bane of his existence. And look, it's got the catchy nickname. It's got everything it's going for it. But in my view, it can't be any higher. It could maybe be 3, but it happened in the Elite 8. It got you to the Final Four, but it's not like a national championship winning level shot.
Yeah, it wasn't a national championship winning level shot, but it was iconic in and of itself, and I do believe Duke went on to win that year.
They did. They did indeed. Because if you look back at all of the Duke UConn, and they brought this up a couple of times on the broadcast, every time a Duke UConn game happens in the NCAA tournament, the winner of that game has gone on to win the national championship. Although that was Duke, Kentucky. Yeah. I keep getting them conflated in my head.
Yeah, so I remember that because there was this is before you were born. We used to have this thing called VHS.
I had those. I'm not that
joking
young.
with you, man.
I only had them for like 10 years, and then DVD came out.
It was a Sports Illustrated 1992 VHS. It had the Dream Team on there.
Wow.
And just so you know how iconic that was, because it was a great year in sports in 1992, apparently. But the Christian Laettner shot was in front of the Dream Team stuff. Like, it was considered more iconic than the Dream Team stuff on the Sports Illustrated tape. So
no, I get it, but man, I didn't know Duke was that big of a brand to overtake a gold medal.
No, it was the idea of that just improbability of the high point catch and then turn around and hit the jump shot.
The high point catch part of it though is magnificent.
It hasn't been replicated yet. No, I don't think.
I don't think it can be.
Would not put that at number 4. Actually, my number 4 is 2016 Paul Jesperson, I think is how you said his name. Yeah. Northern Iowa beating Texas. Iconic for me on several levels. One, I had Northern Iowa to win. I think they were almost 4-1 in that game. I was in the Buffalo Wild Wings in Texas with my friends who are Texas fans, and I was the only person to jump up and scream when he made that shot. And the only time I've been in a situation like that where it's just been me versus the world was in the World Baseball Classic. I happened to be in the Dominican Republic, and they had the game on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they had the game on.
Jumped.
No, I didn't get jumped, thankfully. But Adam Jones robbing that home run, I was the only person yelling and screaming.
Yeah, I
celebrating.
Bet you were. I bet you got some dirty looks, too.
Those are the 2 times in my life where I've forgotten that, yes, sports are passionate, and sometimes it's better to just kind of keep it to yourself.
Just for that shot, thank you for bringing that up. That busted my bracket that year.
It was incredible.
And partially due to Northern Iowa winning this game back in 2016 against Texas is why I had Northern Iowa beating St. John's. But a 50-foot half-court buzzer beater heave to win is insane.
If you go back and watch it, like, you can literally hear the gas when he let it go, and then it's just like, fuck, and everybody's like, oh my God. It's incredible.
Here's a fun what if. You know the Vanderbilt shot that went halfway down, that was a 3/4 court shot in the round of 32 this year? Yeah. Where does that rank if it goes down? I think that's the fact it's round of 32 hurts it, but I think that's a top 5 shot all time.
Texter reminding me, Paul Jesperson. I'm assuming I'm saying it right, but probably not. But anyway, he was a former UVA player.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's what the texter said.
I like it.
Can't verify, but I just know him from Northern Iowa.
Yeah, I think a lot of people know him from just Northern Iowa. My number 3 shot is the Braylon Mullins shot. Might be prisoner of the moment, how it got over Laettner, but the Braylon Mullins shot from Sunday, 35-footer, 0.3 of a second. We all know what happened. I've watched that replay now so many times, Alan, and the fact that he releases the ball still on his way up in perfect form, like, the shot is great. And then it goes down. Like, it is just magnificent. So this might be a little prisoner of the moment. I get it. The fact it's still fresh in our minds, it's massive. It punched the ticket to the Final Four. UConn took down Duke, everything like that. I get I might be a little prisoner of the moment, but it's number 3 for me in the best shots in the history of March Madness.
Number 3 for me is the last time I was a Carolina fan. 2016, Chris Jenkins at Villanova.
That's my number 1.
I hate it.
How is that not number 1? That's number 3.
Because I was a Carolina fan.
That's okay. That's fair. But like that shot.
Yeah, man, that was like even thinking about it, it's hard for me to put it into words, but that was tough. That was tough.
The fact that Page tied it with 4.7 to go with the most unorthodox double clutch in the air 3-pointer. I remember that shot going down. I was like, we're going to overtime. Let's go. Let's buckle up, folks. It's about to be a good time. I was at JMU at the time as a student, and we were all watching in someone's apartment, and we were like, oh, my goodness, going crazy. And then we were like, wait, guys, wait. I think Villanova might have some. And then Chris Jenkins nailed it, and it was wild.
That was tough.
So the fact that it was a back and forth in the national championship like that, 10 out of 10. 3 for you. I'm spoiling my number one, but it's number one for me. I think you just cannot get something better than that.
Fine. My number one was the Christian Laettner shot.
Okay.
Yeah, just because of how iconic it was.
We're way off.
But I got you for number 2. What's your number 2?
Lorenzo Charles, NC State win against Houston in 1983.
Yes, I figured most people would have that, and because I didn't see it,
I didn't see it either,
obviously,
but
I wasn't. I'm not knocking it, but I will never forget.
Highlights.
I will never forget the Jalen Suggs UCLA shot.
Oh, that's a good one.
One, because it was during COVID, basically. Nobody was there.
Yeah, and he stood on the table.
Yeah, he stood on the table, and you could hear everything because nobody was there, really. But that to me was iconic just because how back and forth that game went. It was almost poetic justice that it just wouldn't go into overtime.
That is one of the better March Madness games we've had as of late.
Fun fact, the first and only overtime game-winning buzzer beater in Final Four history.
Really? That is a very fun fact.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
Doesn't happen often in Final Four history, apparently.
I did go with Lorenzo Charles there, though, because I put a little extra credence in national championship game-winning shots, which is why Chris Jenkins, Marcus Page, but the Chris Jenkins part of that shot, why it's number one and why Lorenzo Charles is number 2. Braylon Mullins, awesome. I'm prisoner of the moment. It's great. It is a top 5 shot in my view of all time, but it gets hit a little bit because it's in the Elite 8. Christian Laettner for me, it gets hit a little bit because it's in the Elite 8. Cardiac Kemba, the step back Kemba shot, it gets hit a lot because it was in the 2011 Big East tournament. So for me, if it was a national championship game-winning shot, it got a little extra juice.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's fine. I mean, that's understandable. It's the biggest moment and the biggest shot you could possibly have.
Look, I think we're going to get a couple more of these massive shots in this in the rest of this tournament with the Final Four featuring UConn, Illinois. But then not more importantly, but equally importantly is the fact that it features Michigan, Arizona. I mean, these two teams, I think, are extremely well suited to play each other. And it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last, whoever is set up for the final shot. Michigan's defense right now is the most efficient defensive unit in the entire nation, and Arizona is the 4th most efficient offense. This is good on good. It's going to be a very, very fun game between the two. I got the edge to Arizona, but if Michigan comes out and plays like they have, especially in that last game, I don't know. You're going to need an exceptional performance from Bradley, Berries, and Pete.
So it's funny that we're talking about iconic shots because I don't think Michigan's had a close game. I think the game against Iowa was close. Can't remember if that came down to a game winner, but I remember the Kawhi Leonard angle that Arizona used to beat Iowa State, and that they've experienced those moments and been on the winning side of it. It'll be interesting to see how both these teams play in a game where they're finally meeting somebody that even on paper is evenly matched with them. I think obviously they've competed all year. They've had some games that are highs and lows, but they never come into a game on paper where I think the team across from them is just as good as them. But Michigan and Arizona, I think we would all agree, have been the 2 best teams this year.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate that they're on the same side of the bracket. But this will be a very tough game. The better team will win this game. Nobody's getting anything handed to them.
And I think what we have seen now in the NCAA tournament as well, because you could have argued that matchup between Michigan and Duke, that was a team that on paper was similar to Michigan.
Yeah, at that time.
Now at that time, we've seen kind of Duke take a little bit of a fall. It's like, all right, maybe they weren't as good as we thought they were.
And I said leading up to that, situationally, it was a tough stretch for Michigan. Like I think they had a couple of Big Ten road games.
Yeah, they had Purdue.
Sandwich in between that. I think Purdue was either after or before.
Purdue was the game before on the road. Then they had Illinois, Iowa
after,
on the road.
Yeah, and they had to go to a neutral site and play Duke. You know, we don't talk enough about it.
Neutral site. It was in DC, which like is easier to travel for Duke fans.
Yeah, but DC's got
It's a
2
hub.
international airports and stuff. Like it's accessible to everybody equally. It's just maybe a distance is closer, but the accessibility is there. I think we actually don't give enough credit to scheduling and sometimes the difficulties it poses for some of our college basketball teams, because that's what you name, like 4 games. That's within a week stretch.
Yeah.
Like that's our pros can't do that. Yeah. You know, matter of fact, they would sit out 2 of those games. These kids got to play, or at least unless you're Peterson, we expect you to play.
And where's Kansas right now? I
feel bad for Bill.
Got a text in. What about Jordan's shot as a freshman against Georgetown? Wasn't a championship game. What about Bryce Drew, and Tyus Edney as well? All great ones. And I think if you go out to the top 10, probably you're going into my top 10. But look, Kemba, that shot, and I know it's crazy to put a Big East tournament game, but you were in agreement with me, so you did it too.
Yeah.
That was at such a pivotal part of my young sports, not young, but like early on sports watching, where I was like, wait, in college basketball, you can just like have a dude who just does that.
Again, it's iconic to me because a lot of people were not utilizing step backs in that manner with the isolation, right? It's now a mainstay in modern basketball. Like you see a big on a guard. They typically, when they isolate, they're not looking to drive. They're going to give them a couple moves and do a step back and shoot it.
And then what Kemba did for the rest of the postseason.
His career, basically. Even in the NBA, he was known to put some dimes in, man, if you needed a bucket.
He was a guy that I always remember. When I'd start a 2K franchise, if I could trade for Kemba, I was trading for Kemba, and he was dropping 35 a night.
He must have spent a lot of time doing 3, 2, 1 and practicing that shot, man.
I know I did. After watching that game, I know I was going out my front yard at the old hoop and count it down myself.
But
I did it with the Pitt players too.
There's really no right or wrong for that stuff, man. There's so many iconic moments. That's why we love the tournament.
It gives you so many. You could have 15 people on this radio show, and each person would have a different 5. Like there are just so many to choose. We didn't even talk about Ali Farouk-Manesh of Northern Iowa as well. We didn't even talk about, there are just so many, even just Cinderella ones. From this own year, there was the Kentucky Santa Clara 3-3 overtime that was electric, but it was round of 64.
I left my VCU people off.
You left VCU off, and you could even go to the old CAA days when they were being played in the Coliseum, and there were
there's some bad memories. Okay, Tony Scan there.
And now I get why.
Let's not go there.
Please. And now I understand why your hatred for George Mason runs deep.
Yes. There's always a reason for my.
He might be poached away here sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Good riddance.
Kemba was fire. We just got that text in. Kemba Walker made me go, man, college basketball is more fun than the NBA.
Yeah,
Kemba was
sure.
fun.
And to do it at a blue blood like UConn, definitely iconic.
Truly, with a Hall of Fame coach. Was that Calhoun when he was there?
I think it was Calhoun.
And then Calhoun came back to coach like Division III for a little bit.
Wait, maybe that was that what's the guy?
Kevin Ollie?
Kevin Ollie? Was that Ollie?
No, Ollie was their next one after that, I think. Because they had a win in like 2014.
They had like a run, right, where it was both the men and women's teams that were winning championships. Like, I think they beat Michigan State, but I think Ollie won one of he won a championship.
He did win one. He won the Kevin Ollie won the championship in 2014, and then the 2011 one was Jim Calhoun.
Okay,
the penultimate year of the Calhoun era, because then he retired in 2012. Then Ollie came in. Ollie left after 2018, and Hurley joined in 2019. All right, that was.
He's got an iconic moment too on a game-winning shot.
Kevin Ollie?
No, Hurley.
Oh,
with the
headbutt. I love Hurley.
Which, just real quick, just so because we were pretty adamant about it yesterday. Apparently, it's much to do about nothing. Like him and the ref are cool.
Very good friends. Yeah,
which
not friends, but like they've worked together for a really long time.
It explains the reaction then, because I was like, this dude's a nut.
I'm like, he still is a nut. Like, just to do that period. But man,
you're either Hurley or Will Wade, man.
You're either Hurley or you're Nurley. I don't know.
I'll take Hurley.
Yeah, I would too. I'd much prefer Dan Hurley over Will Wade. All right, let's get a quick break in. On the other side, Nick Lorenzen. He'll be joining us to help preview the Final Four, take a look back at the Elite Eight and Sweet 16, as well as he was up in D.C. covering the games for Bracketeer.org. Nick Lorenzen, next.
It's game day.
Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
This is advertising material. A drunk driver changed your life in an instant. Now what? The pain, the bills, the recovery that never feels fast enough. You didn't ask for this, but you don't have to face it alone. Alexander Shinara trial attorneys fight for drunk driving victims and get results. Call now, 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law. Don't wait, alexwins.law. This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George is licensed attorney in Virginia, is responsible for legal work. Office is located in Norfolk.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
John Starks, we're watching the NBA Finals. It's Knicks and the Rockets, and they take us away to the OJ chase. Yes. Did you guys know anything about that as players?
When we came back in for halftime, we go into the locker room, we sitting down, and Coach Riley going over his speech, and it was all wah, wah, wah. We weren't even trying to hear all that. We why are they chasing OJ?
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Can't be in Connecticut.
I just got to say, I am very, very disappointed, particularly in Mr. Coleman. I waited all year long for you guys to open up this bracket challenge. Last year, we did the one shining moment. Freddie, I got to say, a man of your stature, that was a lackluster performance.
Wait, did you hold on to that for a whole year?
And I love it, Cam B.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. The Rich Eisen Show.
After trading for Jalen Waddle, the Broncos are the best team in the AFC.
How do you not think that? That's not an overreaction. They run it back for a team that damn near made the Super Bowl. Bo Nix comes back healthy. Now he's got somebody who, ask a Broncos fan, and you tell me who's been as fast as Jalen Waddle this size. Well, they also have somebody like Cortland Sutton. I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, why not?
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. Amber and Ian.
He's probably going to get shut down, but now he gets all of us media folks out here making him look like a hero, because whereas everybody else in the NBA, we question how much they care, and we're questioning load management and all the things that we've been talking about for the last half decade with the league. Now with Giannis, he's the dude who wants to play when there's no reason to, and he shouldn't.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Lake Lewis is part of Raisin Hill coverage, and every Tuesday he joins Fitz the Bill for insider reports, film breakdowns, and Commanders news. Only on your home for the NFL all season long. 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Tuesday morning, March 31st. Appreciate you for clocking in, making us part of your morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside as we are joined now. Nick Lorenzen. He covered the D.C. games up there for Bracketeer.org. He got a close look at everything that happened up there. Nick, how are you doing on this Tuesday morning? Have you come down from the Braylon Mullins shot yet?
I'm doing pretty well, Jack. I mean, I sat there for like 15 minutes after. I couldn't move. Everyone else went down on the floor and got their pictures and all that jazz. But like, I was so enamored in the basketball. I've seen a lot of basketball these last couple of years. I mean, that was maybe the best weekend of basketball I've seen in a long time at one spot. That was outstanding. 19-point lead blown. That was the second time this weekend in D.C. that there's a 19-point lead blown. You don't see that happen much.
There's something in the water up there in the District of Columbia, I guess, that made it where teams could not hold on to big leads. What is it about UConn that you saw in person that allowed them to overcome that 19-point deficit and that will let them be competitive against a very good Illinois team?
Yeah, I know it's cliche, but it's just championship mentality. They've won 2 national championships, I guess, in the last 4 years. So this is the third time in the last 4 years that they've made the Final Four. Only one team has won 3 national championships in 4 years. It's 1960, and that was UCLA back in the day. I mean, Dan Hurley really is just that good of a coach where they can overcome these situations. They couldn't hit a 3 if their life depended on it for the first 35 minutes. They were 1 for 18. And then they finished the game 4 for 5 from 3. Just some big shots, Caravan, Mullins from 3, including that one from the logo that ended up winning them the whole thing. But, you know, just that championship DNA, it's really a real thing. And Dan Hurley, if you didn't believe in him after winning 2 national championships in a game like that, where they came back 19 against the Duke team that's been one of the top 3 teams in the country all year, you got to believe now.
You also saw while you were up there, UConn take down Michigan State. I mean, that DC, all the DC games, you're right. They all were fantastic. But UConn goes and takes down Izzo. Then they take down Duke. Are they poised with that championship mentality, but also with the play of Reed, with Caravan, now with their star freshman, with Mullins having a good time out there? Are they a team that could win the national championship, even though all advanced analytics have them as the worst team remaining?
Yeah, I mean, I was questioning this the whole time. I've seen all 4 of their games in the NCAA tournament. I saw them in Philly, too. And it just seemed like they kept squeezing by. They squeezed by Furman, and then they squeezed by Michigan State in the Sweet 16. That was the other one that was a 19-point lead below. But they have all the pieces to do it. I mean, that first game, Tara Street had maybe the most impressive stat line I've ever seen. Everyone's going to talk about how great Alex Wilkins was for Furman, and he truly was a great young guard from up there in Massachusetts. But I think Tara Street had 20. He had like 21 points and 28 rebounds. It was an absolutely insane stat line that you don't ever see in college basketball. But they have him. They have Alex Caravan. They have Braylon Mullins. They just have a solid all-around team with a great coach where they could do it because Illinois hasn't been there under Brad Underwood. Illinois' best players, I know they do have some experience, but their 2 best players, in my opinion, are freshmen. So they haven't been in a situation like this. Championship DNA.
Nick, I want to pick your brain a little bit on that whole freshman hadn't been there, those types of storylines, because we've been talking about it a lot with Duke. Caden Boozer has that horrible turnover at midcourt that gives UConn the ability to go on and win that game. Caden Boozer, a well-known freshman, right? How important in your view is it to have experienced guards taking care of the basketball instead of a young freshman?
Oh, it's so important. I mean, they want to, sometimes they fall into situations where they want to be the guy. They want to be the guy that saves it all. Sometimes you do have really poised freshmen. And, I mean, I think the Boozer brothers are very poised freshmen, but they got in a situation like that where their brain just lapsed them and they wanted to be the hero and throw that half-court pass and get the dunk and celebrate and win. So I really do think experience matters, and I think it matters in the other games too. In the Final Four, you know, Arizona they are a very experienced team, and Michigan they're a very experienced team. But Dusty May, he's been in the Final Four before as a head coach. Tommy Lloyd hasn't been there as a head coach. He was there as an assistant at Gonzaga, but he was never there as a head coach. Michigan made it all the way to the Elite Eight last year. And they were right on the cusp of having this moment last year. I've said it since October. I think Michigan's going to win the national championship. And a couple of them being there before, Dusty May being in the Final Four before and losing, just like these other games we were talking about with UConn, the lone lead to San Diego State where they lost the buzzer when he was at FAU. That'll come back and that'll hit him and hopefully push him across the to win it all because he's been there before. He's had these moments. It goes on for more than just freshmen. I'll say it a million times, championship DNA.
I love it. Nick Lorenzen, he's joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at @NLorenzenSports. He's always got fantastic insights. Nick, with that Michigan-Arizona showdown, we're going head-to-head because I got Arizona winning it. I have Arizona winning the national championship because I am just so enamored with what they've got going on with their freshmen, with their seniors. I mean, they just seem to be so well-balanced. But that Michigan team, at one point this season, I was saying, this is the national champion. I was really high on them. I think a couple of games late, maybe even the Big Ten championship game, had me jump off their bandwagon onto Arizona's. If you could pitch me right now on why I should hop back on Michigan, is it because of Yaxel Landenborg? Is it because of Dusty May? Why should I'm not going to? Let me just say that right here. But why should I jump back on Michigan's bandwagon?
Well, I mean, I just always go back. You know, it's such a unimportant moment for everyone else, but graduate assistant LaSalle, we play at Michigan in late December, and we walk in there, and they're warming up. And Ade Mara, I was shocked to hear that he hit his first three, and I think it was the last game. It was either the last game or the Sweet 16. Like this dude hasn't hit a three all year. When he was warming up against us, he was running wing from wing, and he was hitting threes like I've never seen anyone hit before. He was just hitting. He had hit like 30 in a row. I mean, he has the ability to not only work on the inside, he's 7'2", and he's absolutely destroying everyone on the inside. He can work on the outside, too. Yaxel Landenborg, for years, has been a dominant double-double guy at UAB, and he comes into Michigan, he's just bullying everyone. You know, people kind of get pissed off at him about how much, like, how highly he thinks of himself. But when you're putting up numbers like this consistently and you're just owning college basketball, why wouldn't you? He could have went to the NBA draft 3 years ago, but he knows that he's just like the best player in college basketball. And he's a JUCO guy, which is awesome because people were overlooking him for a really long time, and now everyone's thinking that he's too important. I don't understand how that works. But him, Morez Johnson, you got Elliot Cadeau, who has been an absolutely changed guard since coming over from UNC, which is insane. He couldn't hit waterfall on the boat either for the last couple of years in Chapel Hill, but now he can hit threes. Dusty Bay, I think, is the best coach in the country. I've thought of that for a couple of years. He's such a hard worker, and it shows on the court with his guys. And I just love that team. I love that. I love their locker room. I love that all of them know what advanced analytics is. Just the super nerd in me. The players care about their efficiency numbers. Michigan's just this Arizona team's awesome too. Like you watch them in the Big 12 tournament, and you're like, this team is like they're outstanding. And this, I don't want to say it, but it kind of reminds me of the World Baseball Classic, and it ultimately didn't end up going that well for Team USA. But people were looking into it like this Dominican Republic semifinals game, the national or is the championship of it all. Like whoever wins this is just going to walk over whoever wins the other game, which ultimately didn't end up happening. But like I look at this Arizona Michigan game as like my national championship. Like whoever wins this is the real champion. I mean, UConn or Illinois will obviously put up a really tough battle. They're two of the best teams in the country. They've been all year. But like Arizona and Michigan have been the two best teams in the country. I think they've been better than Duke, in my opinion, all year. So it'll be really fun to see these two teams battle it out.
And a fun subplot there with Michigan, Arizona is the whole Tommy Lloyd situation with will he, won't he with UNC. He had some interesting comments after the win against Purdue. Do you think that's something that has seeped into the locker room? Do you think that's something that is weighing on the mind of Arizona players?
I hope not. You know, it's like Will Wade 2 years ago. I guess he really wasn't this year. He was super transparent at Michigan State. And all those players knew that he had a really good chance of leaving, and they ended up winning a game in the round of 64. Sometimes I hope transparency dimmers all this and you don't worry about it as much. But who knows? Who knows the locker room? I really hope it doesn't hit them. I mean, there's kind of the same around Michigan. Like, no one really knows who's getting talked to about UNC. A lot of people are saying the three are Dusty May, Tommy Lloyd, and Billy Donovan. But who knows? It could be neither of those three.
Yeah.
And they could hire someone in the middle of this game. It's the wild, wild west search season. There's nothing better than search season, though. I love search season. And whoever ends up taking this UNC job, a million other jobs. Same with NC State. Like, this is just the start. This is just the start. It's not even the tip of the iceberg of the search season. It's going to be going on for the next month. People are going to be moving like crazy.
I cannot wait for it. I love search season as well. It's always the fun part of it all. You've already broke some news over there with what happened down in Charlotte with Wes Miller. So you're already in mid-season search season form. But Nick, appreciate you taking some time out of your day. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy the games on Saturday. Enjoy the national championship on Monday.
Appreciate it, Jack. Always enjoy.
Of course, there goes Nick Lorenzen at @NLorenzen Sports on Twitter. Fantastic follow. He was up there in D.C. covering the games for Bracketeer.org, one of the most plugged in, one of the most knowledgeable guys around the world of college basketball. Sometimes his phone has other ideas with it, but do appreciate Nick for taking some time. And he broke the Wes Miller news when it came to Charlotte hiring him just a week ago was when Charlotte ended up hiring Wes Miller. I think it's a really good hire for Charlotte, but Nick was one of the first on that one to break that news a whole 48 hours before Charlotte officially announced it. He's announced some other coaching hires. I highly recommend following him. You will learn a lot about the game. You'll get a lot of insights as well. But I disagree with him on Michigan. And you know what, Alan? That worries me. That worries me that him and I are on different sides of that game because Nick is typically right. And he is right. And he was tugging on my heartstrings. He nearly got me to jump off the Arizona bandwagon over to Michigan for the main fact that Michigan loves nerd numbers. They love advanced analytics.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, Jack, but your bracket and your
it's already wrong
right now.
It's already bad, so I can do whatever.
Has me concerned because I'm backing Arizona to win it all, and you're backing Arizona to win it all.
And I think
What does my friend say? The actual capper and sports knowledgeable person in your household. What does she think?
Eva had Duke.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Oh,
that took the win right out of your sails. There you go.
What about the dog?
Frank?
Yeah, Frank.
We'll have to have Frank once the final. I guess I won't be around to have Frank pick it. I'll be in Indianapolis at the game, so I won't know what Frank also picked the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Well, you didn't feed Frank apparently. Frank was against you.
No, I feed Frank a cup of food every meal, and this man still acts like he gets starved. He picked the Patriots.
Let's be honest. Michigan and Arizona is a true toss-up game. You can flip a coin. I don't think there's a right or wrong. Cases can be made for either side. And again, whoever wins will be, air quote, the best team in this particular case. The best team is going to win this game.
Yes.
No excuses.
As it stands now, the number one person in the Fitz the Bill Tournament Challenge and the number two person in the Fitz the Bill Tournament Challenge both have picked Michigan to win it all.
I wonder how much I jump if I get Arizona.
You probably jump a lot. You probably jump a lot. I love trouble.
Yeah.
Your max score is 1,190, and that's higher than a good amount of people ahead of you. So you could have a good little jump.
Come on, Arizona.
Myself, I cannot. I'm pretty much locked into the bottom third of this whole thing. Really does well for the old ego when I'm like,
hey, at least we know it's not rigged.
At least we know you're listening to a guy who overthinks a lot of stuff. That's the main takeaway. All right, let's get a quick break in here. We'll step aside and be back to wrap up this Tuesday edition of Fitz the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
People tell us the same thing all the time. I wish I came here first. Because at East Coast Appliance, customer service actually matters. You're greeted by real appliance experts, not someone working in 5 different departments. You get honest answers, real help, fast delivery when available, and Virginia's largest in-stock inventory. So next time you're in the market for a new appliance, we'd love for you to make your first stop East Coast Appliance, where you always get the best price or it's free. Hi, I'm Rob Nicholson, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about scratch and dent appliances because dent sounds scary until you realize it's often so small you never see it. But what you do see is huge savings from the original price of the appliance. Every East Coast Appliance Superstore has a variety of brands and options available, and it's one of the best ways to save real money on new appliances. Come see for yourself at your local East Coast Appliance today, where you'll always get the best price, or it's free.
This is advertising material.
Our highways have become hunting grounds. The Predators, 18-wheelers, 80,000-pound killing machine sharing the road with your family. A semi-truck doesn't need to be speeding to destroy your life. At just 30 miles per hour, a fully loaded big rig can crush a car like a soda can. Your airbags, your seatbelts, they weren't built for that. Alexander Chenard Trial Attorneys knows trucking companies cut corners on maintenance, push drivers past legal limits, and hire underqualified operators. You shouldn't pay the price. If you've been injured in a trucking accident, call Alexander Chenard Trial Attorneys. You're not just fighting a driver, you're fighting billion-dollar corporations with an army of lawyers. Alexander Chenard Trial Attorneys have thrived over the years by taking on the trucking industry. They fight harder, they win bigger. Alexander Chenard Trial Attorneys is on your side. One call is all it takes. No cost, no risk. And they don't get paid until you do. Call 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law. They fight for you.
Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George, licensed attorney in Virginia, is responsible for legal work. Office located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510. This is advertising material.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here. Hey, Richmond, looking for more Fitz the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram.
Oh, another free one. Thanks, dog. You always hook me up.
Another hour of the fun stuff on deck.
Another one of your nonsensical rambling stories.
And another round for everyone on me. I don't want to hear another peep.
Okay, all right, here's another one.
Timeout. We're going to walk this down. Joseph Alexander stops. Pops. And it drops. It's an offensive foul.
I just want to know who that play-by-play commentator is. He was fantastic last night. NBC had the game as SGA nailed a three. But guess what? He committed an offensive foul. And another thing, the free throw merchant finally gets caught.
Now, you know it's crazy, and this will be my old man rant.
Oh, man. Here we go.
The excessive use of the offhand
to push away.
Yes. Is ridiculous in basketball nowadays. It's to the point where it's like it's crazy. He literally shoved that dude.
What's worse? Here's a question for you, old head. What's worse, the excessive use of the offhand or the travels, like the blatant travels?
The carry.
Yeah,
no, for real. Like the carry is crazy. But
the use of the offhand is like you watch even in March Madness in the NCAA tournament, right? You watch any driving guard, they're getting a little chicken wing in there.
I think that I don't necessarily mind the chicken wing is not as egregious. When your hand is literally Heisman pose, we got an issue, man. And then for him to ask or act as like, I know you have to like act like you didn't do it, but it's like, come on, man. Like you're at least don't complain to the ref about you're not. That's so against the rules. If we froze that frame, he's basically
shoving the guy. Yeah, like he was full arm extended.
He's Saquon Barkley.
He's stiff arming. And SGA does that a lot. And SGA does not get called for it a lot. In fact, the defender ends up getting called for it a lot. And that's why he leads the league in scoring. The dude averages like 10 free throws per game. If you took that out of his scoring, he'd be like the fifth best scorer, which is still very good. But like,
you know what I thought when I saw that? I said, oh, they're calling this like a playoff game.
They're calling this well. I think it's because of all the hate that SGA got a couple of nights ago against the Celtics.
Was it hate?
No, it was very valid, but he got a lot of hate towards it, and the NBA, I think, heard it when he hooked the Celtics defender, and the Celtics defender got called for the foul. He's a free throw merchant.
I know we're humans, and I know there's levels to things, but I can't stand when people will say you can't get that call, Rook. Or you're not like you're Derek White. You're not Jaylen Brown. You can't get that call. Call it by the book. If it's a foul, it's a foul.
It
I don't
doesn't
care
matter
who's
who
doing
you
it.
are. It does not matter who you are.
Like that's one thing about basketball, and this is the universal thing of basketball, not just an NBA thing. College, high school, your AAU, and even at the pickup games, just call it how it is, man.
Yes.
It shouldn't be any grandstanding.
I 100% agree. And he profits the most off of this grandstand. He averages 9 free throw attempts per game. He's 8 of 9 per game this season. So if you take away 8 points from SGA each and every game, he's scoring 23 points per game, roughly. I'm rounding for some tenths of points, which would put him around 18th in the league, around Keontae George and Jalen Johnson if he had no free throws per game.
Peak MVP level James Harden used to get about 12, 13 free throws a game. He was a free throw merchant too, but I don't think he was.
I feel like he did it with some more class.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was going to the basket at least. I feel like SGA is more of a jump shooter doing it,
and he's like,
that's the frustration.
It's like from left to right. He's going east and west getting the calls. Harden was at least going north and south, which created and won opportunities. I think SGA is a fantastic player. He's figured out how to play in today's NBA.
They're gonna call it.
I'm taking a little something away from SGA.
Taking MVP from him.
I'm very glad that this man got whistled for the offensive foul. I'm glad that the ref had the cojones to whistle that because he just watched this place. The roof just came off. He just nailed the three. The announcer, and then like the ref was like, nope, psych, take it back. We're going to overtime. So I appreciate the ref for doing that. SGA is a great player, but SGA is not the dang MVP. It's Wemby or it's Luka.
It's Wemby.
It's Wemby.
Or it's the alien, who is also Wemby.
Also known as Wemby. Wemby averaging 24.5 points
Give
per
my
game.
man his props. What did he do the last game?
11 points. He had the fastest double-double, I think, like in the last 30 some odd years or something. He got a double-double in the first couple of minutes of the game.
It would be so good for the league if they give him this platform. Please make him MVP. Reward his hustle. I mean, we're getting every night hustle from this guy, and he's a star. We don't see that consistently anymore.
No.
Like we have his Ant is young enough to be an every night hustle guy, and even he lows sometimes.
He wasn't starting last game. Did you hear why he didn't start last game?
Because he's a knucklehead.
I can't say why he was, but he was he had to go take care of some business in the bathroom and he missed tip off.
Yeah, he's a knucklehead.
I love Anthony Edwards so much. That's so funny.
It's Ant, man. Like I will give him that.
He came in and he played.
It's Ant being Ant. We just accept him for who he is.
He was asked after the game, Ant, why didn't you start? And he was like, I was taking a, and then the reporter was like, oh,
he's got a little bit of Gilbert Arenas in him, man. Like he's unpredictable, but also funny.
Ant played 23 minutes, scored 17 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds after not starting the game.
And then
I
had
can't
to get
wait.
a lighter load to get out there.
I can't wait for the Anthony Edwards podcast when he retires.
I can't wait for that.
All right, that'll do it for Fitz the Bill. On this Tuesday, we'll be back with an April Fool's edition tomorrow morning, same time, same place on your dial. Bit of housekeeping as a reminder. Thursday, no show. Friday, we're live from Indianapolis as we highlight Mary Washington's run to the Division III National Championship up there with the team. And then I'll be doing their special play-by-play broadcast on Sunday at the game, but we'll have the show live from Indy on Friday. Keep it locked right here to ESPN Richmond. So much great stuff coming. We're back live and local at 4 with the new Sports Huddle. At 6, we've got the Lake Lewis Jr. Show. You don't want to miss it. Talk to you tomorrow.